Well, hi guys. It's really not that time. It's not so much a Bible teaching snippet today. What I want to do today is just give you a word of encouragement. I know that with all that's going on, I'm not even going to go into all that's going on. There's so many people that are focused on negative things, and it's a very depressing place to be when you get out of bed and you focus on certain negative things all day long, okay? And I don't allow myself to do that because I want to walk in peace. And part of walking on in peace and with peace everywhere you go is to guard your own heart about letting the negative things in and taking over your entire being, okay? And it's easy to do in times like this. So, what I'm going to do today, yesterday when I was doing the teaching snippet, I talked about that when I went out on Wednesday, I had like this list of 8 different places I needed to go, right? And I went and picked up my picture that's going to go back on the wall of Jesus that Akiana painted when she was only 9 years old, and another print that I'm going to hang on the wall. But anyway, so I had pulled over into a parking lot to eat a banana. Yes, I was hungry. I had done a few errands and I knew I would get hungry along the way. So I'm sitting in my car in a parking lot, right? And just a woman walks up to the window of my car, okay, and look, I'm going to risk saying this with people giving me backlash, okay. She was a black lady, okay, and there's so much misinformation about how we all hate one another, right? But I want you to think about this, okay. She is comfortable enough to walk up to my car and tap on the window to ask me to roll my window down, okay? I just wanted to say that, okay? So obviously there may not be as much hate as we're told that there actually is supposed to be here in Memphis and my area. I just don't see that. When I go out and about in public, I do not see racial wars going on. In fact, I see people going out of their way to be kind to each other to make sure that there isn't a misunderstanding. So let me go ahead and tell you the story, though, because I know it's going to bless you. So she taps on my window, and it took me a minute because, my car has an electric start on it. So I had to press the brake and tap that button so it would come on so I could roll my window down. And I'm sure she thought that I was trying to find a way not to roll my window down. But finally, I got my window rolled down, right? And yeah, the wind is blowing here today. But I rolled my window down, and she said, "I'm sorry to bother you, but I wanted to ask you if you could do me a favor." And I said, "Well, sure, I'll try to help you if I can." And she told me that she lived out here in the town that I live in called Summerville, Tennessee. And she said, and she was trying not to cry. She was picking her words very carefully and stumbling a little bit. And she said, "I gathered up a bunch of clothes to bring here to town," and she named this place off, and she said, "Have you ever heard of it?" And I said, "No, I haven't." She said, "Well, I went in there to sell them these clothes so I could get some grocery money." And the woman had already processed and taken the clothes and given me a ticket. And then I asked her, I said, "So how do I get my money?" And she said, "Oh, well, I can't give you any money for 2 or 3 days. You'll have to come back. We should have your clothes processed and everything, and I can give you your money maybe Friday." And she said, and I really thought that if I gave her those clothes that she could just pay me today for them. And now I'm stuck here in my car with no gas to get back home, and I'm still not going to get any money to buy any food. And I was hoping that I would be able to buy some groceries for my kids. And I said, "Well, how many little ones do you have?" And she said, "I have 6 kids." And I said, "Ooh, that's a whole bunch of kids to try to feed." And she, I was making it light. And she said, yes, it is. And now I don't know what to do because I don't even have gas money to get back home. And she said, "I was just wondering if you could help me at all, whatever you could maybe give me, whatever it is, if you could just try to help me." And I looked at her and I said, "Well, how much money do you think you need?" And she looked kind of funny at me and said, "I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how much you could afford to give me or if you can or not. I mean, but just whatever you think." And I said, well, I was just wondering, what do you think that you would need if you wanted to buy your kids something to eat today?" and at the grocery store. And she said, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. Maybe $20. I could get some food up for $20. I think I could, maybe 25. I really don't know. Whatever you can give me will be fine, though. And if you don't have any money and don't want to help me, it's okay. I won't be mad." And I said, "No, I just kind of wanted an idea. I don't have kids, so I don't have 6 little mouths to feed." And she said, "Well, just whatever. It doesn't really matter." And I said, "Well, okay." And I pull my wallet out, and I fiddle around with it, and I pull a 20 out. And I handed it to her, and she was ready to say thank you for helping me. And I said, "Well, I just really I'm looking through my wallet, and I'm not sure I can give you another $5 bill. I'm looking at my money." And she said, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. This'll be fine." And I pulled another 20 out, and I said, "But here, why don't you go ahead and take this? And that way you can buy gas and go to the grocery store and get some food for your children." Did you know that woman didn't even know how to react to that type of gracious kindness? She asked for 20 and then decided, well, maybe 25. And then I turn around and give her $40. And I understand that there's people in the world that run scams all day long, and she may be one of those people. But guys, I can't carry the burden in my heart of being the person that said, "No, I'm going to let you figure out how to get home. I'm going to let someone else figure out, you or someone, how to feed 6 hungry kids." Because, see, that's not what Jesus told me to do, did he? He said to help the least of these. And when I help the hungry or the poor, that I have done this for and to him, right? Okay. Would I actually have Jesus standing at my car door telling me just to give whatever I could afford, and then not give her anything and walk away wondering if 6 little kids went hungry because I didn't trust a lady and the story that she was telling me? See, I can't get caught up in all of that. Now, I'm going to ask, I also had a massage that day, and the gentleman that gave me my massage, and he's a black gentleman as well, by the way, so I told him the scenario, and I even included the fact that, in Memphis we're told through the news media that we all hate each other, and I said, "I think it's odd that I'm in here getting massaged by you, and you and I are really good friends, and I just don't understand where all this anger and hate stuff comes from, because I don't experience that here in our area." And he said, "Well, neither do I." And I told him the scenario of the lady, and I said, "Now, let me ask you, if that had been a white lady that walked and tapped on your door, would you have given her the $20 or $25? And he said, "Yes, I sure would. If she needed money bad enough that she would come and knock on my window, me being a black man, asking me if I could help her, I certainly would have given her the $20 or $25. And he said, I said, "So now you're wondering how I reacted and if I was able to help her." And he laughed, and he said, "Oh, I already know you helped her." I said, "Yes, you're right. Jesus said something about somebody asking for your shirt to go ahead and give them both of your, if he asked for your cloak, giving both your cloak and your undergarment, that basically just to double down on your kindness to the person, right?" And I said, "So, I gave her $40. And I hope that she was telling me the truth. And today I got to bless her with an abundance of groceries, not just what she needed for that day to get by." So I just want you to know, and I pray that you hear my heart here. This is not a racial thing for me at all. If it had been a white man or a white woman or a Spanish lady, it doesn't matter. It's another person. It's a human being that Jesus asked me to love. And that's what I'm going to do for the best that I possibly can. Now, some of you sitting there today are going to go, "Well, Faye, I don't have 20 or 25 or $40, so I would have had to tell her no." And I do understand that, but let me tell you something else I do. I will intentionally, see, I live with intention. I get up out of bed and decide to do things. I go into the Dollar Tree with about $10 and a $10 bill, and I will walk up to the front cashier and ask her if I can get 9 $1 bills, and $1 worth of dimes, which would be 10 dimes, right? And I will watch, and I usually like to do it in the afternoon when the kids are not in school, or I will do it on a Saturday or Sunday when I know that I'll see some little ones in there, right? And what I'll do is I'll go up to the parent and ask the parent, can I give your little one $1 to buy themselves something today? See, I think almost anybody could afford to give away $3 or $4 at the Dollar Tree. Now, you want to know what I do with the dimes, right? Well, what I do with the dimes is when I get through squatting down and loving on the kid and telling them you are so special and I want you to know you're special and I want you to buy yourself something because I love you and Jesus loves you and I just want you to know that you're important. And then when I'm through loving on that little child, and I used to get to hug them, but I don't do that right now because people are kind of weirded out with the COVID stuff. But I give them their little money. Now what I'll do is I will give the adult the dime. And I love doing this part. Holy Spirit taught me this. I will hand the adult the dime and I'll say, did you know a free gift is not a free gift if you have to pay the tax on that dollar? It's no longer a free gift to you or to the kid. Somebody else had to put something in on that, right? And they look kind of funny at me and I'm like, so here's a dime. I want to make sure it's a free gift, just like Jesus gives free gifts. I want to make sure what I give to people is 100% free. And I don't put a burden on somebody else, not even for the tax on that gift I gave your child. So anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a day. You say I wore my t-shirt, love your neighbor. Man, Jesus came and laid down his life, living his life in a way of laying it down for other people. It wasn't about him just getting born so he could die, because if that was all it was about, guys, he could have been sacrificed at the age of 2 or 3, right? Because what he did is he came and he taught us how to love people, and then he showed us how to love people through the way that he treated other people. So he taught us and showed us all the way his entire life up to the cross, even after his death, burial, and resurrection. Everything that Jesus did has a meaning and a reason, and he wants you and me to be him in this world. We are the light of the world. We're the ones that are supposed to show the world who Jesus is, and his goodness shines through us. I'm loving you, and I'm signing off. I'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.